God is angry because you committed a grave error. Resolve this issue right away. Don't skip, my dear youngster. Remain here. Because this is not simply another message for you. Your soul has been trying for days to give this wake-up call. It seems like you've been experiencing an odd weight in your chest lately. That abrupt quiet in your head, as if someone above you has stopped grinning for a reason. It's not rage. It comes from a place of love and is disappointing. Recently, something occurred that changed the energy surrounding you. Heaven's balance was shifted by a seemingly insignificant decision, phrase, or response. The divine now wants you to make the necessary corrections before it spreads. Avoid skipping. Pay close attention. Because you have the opportunity to make things right now, yes, this precise now. Heaven has not yet shut the door. It is awaiting your awakening. You can still change your entire destiny before the next sunrise if you comprehend what this really implies, so stay to the very end. It has nothing to do with failing. You believed you could postpone the truth, but divine timing doesn't. It was about disregarding that soft inner voice that said, "Stop." It just needs a heart that is modest enough to pay attention. You made a self-promise to stay true to your mission and to evolve. However, you became distracted at some point. Perhaps via distractions, perhaps through pain. This inner quiet you experience is not emptiness. Heaven is stopping to let you know what has vanished. Avoid scrolling. Because what you perceive to be confusion is actually a test from God. Heaven only becomes silent when it is imparting profound lessons. That day, you were supposed to behave differently. You were meant to choose compassion over comparison and peace over arrogance. That was the pivotal moment, the grave error mentioned in the message. But pay attention. You are not being condemned by God. He's returning your call. 1,000 angels begin mending your chronology as soon as you recognize what went wrong. Something is being rewritten above you right now as you breathe. The light that you believed had faded is still shining, awaiting your truth. Heaven prefers honesty above perfection, my darling. You are hearing this today because of this. Since the sender of this mail is aware that you still have time. Avoid skipping. Your test of grace will be when the person who injured you apologizes. Instead of responding with resentment, respond calmly and quietly. Your correction starts there. You have one act to perform tonight. Write down everything that has been bothering you lately, including the uncertainty, the guilt, and the, "I wish I hadn't done that." Say, "I release this," after reading it aloud. "I'm pardoned." That small gesture unlocks a door you were unaware even existed. It clears your way by preventing you from making the same error twice. Unknowingly hurting someone keeps your words with them like a wound. Heaven reconciles with your circumstances when you find peace with that energy. Don't miss this opportunity. Because God may have put the person you once misinterpreted in your destiny for healing. Behind the scenes, something significant is coming together. A chance that you believed was lost is going to come back, but it won't remain if your heart is pure when it does. This modification is therefore urgent. Tonight, you'll see odd indicators. Perhaps a number that keeps coming up, a flicker in the light, or an unexpected familiar smell. These attest to the proximity of heaven. This is preparation, not punishment, so stay until the very end. Instead of being rejected, you're being honed. The storm around you was not meant to destroy. It was meant to reveal where your foundation was weak. Now strengthen it, says Archangel Michael. Even a silent apology to heaven will break a cycle that has been plaguing your family for years, even if you can't recognize it yet. The spiritual burden has been particularly heavy lately because of this. You are purifying generations rather than just correcting one mistake. Avoid scrolling since your actions over the following 24 hours will determine whether or not that weight lifts. What's the good news? It is capable of lifting. At this moment, your thinking need to be realigned. Talk the truth once more. Act on what feels good instead of dwelling on what went wrong. Errors are not taken into account in heaven. It counts the speed at which you go back home. Right now, a message is being written in light. It states, forgiveness activates fortune. Once you mend what's damaged on the inside, what you've lost on the outside is tripled. This is why it goes beyond emotion. It has to do with heavenly correction. Your path fixes itself like golden threads weaving back together each time you choose patience over reaction and avoid negativity. You're halfway past the most difficult section, so stay until the very finish. Your tears weren't in vain. The following chapter, which is poised to blossom, was nourished. The angels witnessed your suffering, my dear child. They witnessed the regret, the restless nights, and the worry that you might have let heaven down. However, they also witnessed the bravery and the silent, unsaid determination to improve the next time. That's the most important thing. It's not the error, but the decision to learn from it. God's mercy is now closer than your next breath. Avoid skipping. Something you thought you had damaged will suddenly come together in less than 72 hours. That indicates that heaven has accepted your modification. There will be subtle, intuitive cues that point you in the direction of particular individuals or behaviors. Don't hesitate to follow them. After forgiveness, heaven speaks in this manner. You'll begin to see serenity taking the place of chaos and peace taking the place of confusion. Your narrative doesn't end here. The rewriting is what it is. You weren't supposed to be defined by the grave error. It was intended to rouse you. Your actual trip starts now that you've heard this message. Avoid scrolling. Avoid skipping. Take a deep breath. Because heaven is grinning once more right now. This week, a new door will open. Something unanticipated, yet well-timed. Go through it fearlessly. Don't let your guilt to prevent you from being given grace. The love of God never wavered. All it needed was your consciousness. From now on, be nice, be kind, and have a great deal of faith. Because what follows will demonstrate that even your worst error was a pretext for atonement. And you'll comprehend when it occurs. Heaven never gave up on you, which is why this message reached you today. Continue to the very end. There is something enormous in store for you. You've already started the fix. God's heart has softened once more, so you can now walk in peace. Don't skip this part, my dear child, since it contains the moment when everything changes. The sudden warmth in your chest that you are experiencing right now is heaven reacting to your choice to make the necessary corrections. All of the tears that fell on your pillow last night have been tallied. And all of your thoughts, even the ones you were unable to articulate, have been received. You're not by yourself. What seemed impossible to fix is already being rearranged by divine hands. This is where your breakthrough begins to breathe, so stay until the very end. The identical circumstance that once made you feel ashamed will now serve as your testimony. Heaven balances suffering in this way. It transforms your errors into wonders. Someone has been silently suffering as a result of you. Their heart has been crying for closure, even if you aren't aware of it. You'll have an impulse to get in touch, or a circumstance will present itself that will allow you to see each other in person once more in the coming days. You have a heavenly opportunity to find peace. Keep your pride in check. Let the quiet speak for you. Because the frequency in your life immediately increases when you choose humility at that very moment. Only those who learn to bow before light can enter new gates of heaven. Don't pass up this opportunity. You are being led by purpose rather than punishment. The purpose of everything that disintegrated was to silence the cacophony so you could hear the whisper at last. After you take that step, an odd thing will occur. It will make you feel lighter spiritually as well as emotionally. After years of holding your breath, it will be like breathing pure air. This is not about guilt anymore. It's about restoration, explains Archangel Michael. Once you've learned the lesson and opted for love rather than blame, the divine correction is finished. Your new story starts now. Avoid scrolling. Because you're not like many others who stop and turn away at this point. You were picked to defy the trend that others disregarded. I am prepared to rebuild, therefore write these words tonight: I am ready to walk in peace. Say them aloud 3 times as a declaration rather than as a ritual. Because the spiritual mist starts to lift as soon as you say them. You'll begin to notice small synchronicities, like as specific tunes playing at the perfect moment or a random message that perfectly reflects your thoughts. That's heaven verifying that you're back on course. Additionally, the universe will now align things more quickly than you anticipate. Continue to the very end. The person who had doubts about you will soon see how much you've grown. Without you having to say anything, they will quietly appreciate the tranquility that emanates from you. Silent change is the true power of divine correction. There's more to come. A blessing you no longer believed you deserved. It has been patiently awaiting the healing of your heart in a higher dimension. That door is unlocking now. You will now experience grace from the same energy that previously caused you to feel guilty. Unexpected communications, offers, or even cash related to what was previously lost will be sent to you. Don't doubt it. This is the season of silent miracles, so don't miss it. It's heaven's way of saying, we trust you again. There won't be any chaos or noise when they come. Just as this message reached you, they will sneak in. See how serenity turns into a magnet for heavenly healing. You've passed the test of self-awareness, my dear child, a test that most people don't pass. You didn't flee from your error. You confronted it. And heaven refers to that as maturity. Because you put the truth ahead of your ego, you are being raised. The air feels different now because of this. It is full with heavenly approval. Something you've been waiting for will come back into your life in the coming days. It is a confirmation rather than a coincidence. It will serve as a reminder that repentance is always the first step toward divine justice. Once more, Archangel Michael murmurs, "Do not fear what's next, for what's next is your reward." As soon as light enters without opposition, all the shadows that trailed you will vanish. Perfection was never the key. It was in your readiness to develop. Heaven is now getting ready to restore the blessings that were momentarily denied to you. Individuals who previously disregarded you will now recognize your renewed vitality and show you respect. That is the outcome of honorable restoration and heavenly correction. Don't omit this section. This is your return to favor. This is your heavenly return. Something will begin to shift within you. Your breathing, your speed, your thoughts. You'll begin to feel more certain, grounded, and conscious. This is because the tranquility of heaven has settled into your heart. It will seem lighter than it has in months when you wake up tomorrow. You'll see how the same world appears clearer, softer, and different. Because you can now see through grace instead of guilt. Avoid scrolling. Your harvest has been awakened by your healing. The force that previously shattered you is now submitting to your rebirth. You've transformed suffering into prayer and prayer into strength. This hour in your timeline is being marked by angels. The error that formerly held you back no longer defines you as of this moment. Heaven is using even your bad turns to lead you home during this season of divine rewriting. Soon, you'll make new friends or get back in touch with important people. Your next chapter will include them. This person will exude wisdom, kindness, and light energy. They are a divine substitute for what you have lost. Avoid skipping. It is a sacred gathering. At first, everything will seem normal, but the energy will verify that heaven is behind it. At last, your path is once again in alignment. When that occurs, you'll look back and see that the grave error was actually your awakening rather than your demise. You would never have acquired tolerance, compassion, and tranquility without it. Thus, you no longer regret it. Express gratitude for the guidance you received to make the necessary corrections before they became irrevocable. Because your rectification has now become a chain of blessings that will affect everything associated with your name. The story isn't over, so stay till the very end. It's simply changing into something you never would have thought possible. Your name is being rewritten in gold by the universe. This is the time when unseen mercy begins to manifest itself, so don't skip, my dear kid. Your silent adjustment has started to reverberate throughout all dimensions related to your fate. The atmosphere surrounding your life has changed, the angels have moved, and the energy has changed. Your surrounds are already changing, even if you can't see lightning or hear trumpets. It's affirmation, not a coincidence, that you're at ease right now. Stay tuned because what's going to happen will demonstrate that heaven rewards in layers rather than in cacophony. The blessing will come in the form of tiny indications that get stronger every hour rather than a big explosion. And everyone will murmur, "You fixed it in time." You might find modest beauty when you wake up this morning. Perhaps the air feels softer or the sunlight appears warmer. That's grace realigning with you, not nature. Your inner equilibrium has been restored by heaven, and this change is permeating your external environment. You'll start getting seemingly odd messages, compliments, or invitations. They're not. They are heaven's coded messages to make amends with your timeline. Every chance that was obstructed is subtly shifting to find you once more. Avoid scrolling. Because most individuals who move too quickly miss this silent miraculous zone. You're standing still, open, and conscious, exactly where divine timing wants you to be. You'll soon be remembered by someone you thought had entirely forgotten about you. You might hear their name in an unexpected place or receive a brief communication from them. That will be your spiritual correction's first outward manifestation. The past is not the focus of this reconnection. It has to do with peace and closure. Old cycles are not repeated in heaven. It wisely rewrites them. Because of this, the discussion will focus on understanding rather than blaming this time. This is a sacred occasion, so don't miss it. It's evidence that you've recovered emotionally. You've come to terms with it. Furthermore, restoration is drawn to acceptance. When you forgive yourself, something lovely occurs. Even circumstances that formerly exhausted you are no longer able to affect your tranquility since your vibration is so elevated. You are now in the field of grace, where all that has been lost begins to find its way back. Your heart will feel younger, your creativity will return, and your attention will sharpen. Because the soul is revitalized by heavenly forgiveness. It removes the deep-seated unseen exhaustion caused by years of shame. The true surprise hasn't yet materialized, so stay until the very end. You're going to see how the same energy that delivered lessons in the past will now bring elevation. Pain is never wasted in heaven. It puts it back into doing miracles. Your dreams will contain symbolism throughout the upcoming evenings. Do not disregard them. These are messages that indicate how near your miracle is. Perhaps a door will open, water will flow, or your name will be surrounded by light. These are signs that the favor of God has come back to you. Speak quietly when you wake up after that. I appreciate you reworking my tale. The door of blessing is kept wide open by that expression. You are currently experiencing more than you are aware of, so stop scrolling. On your behalf, the invisible world is changing relationships, opportunity, and time. Heaven appears in clarity yet moves in silence. What I refer to as the divine reversal will soon occur for you. Something that was intended to disturb your tranquility will instead aid in your advancement. God demonstrates mercy in this way by giving suffering meaning. It could be a letter, a job offer, or even an unanticipated cash blessing. Don't wonder where it originated. With thanks, accept it. Because your energy debt is being generously reimbursed. Even those who underestimated you will be shocked by this turnaround, so stay until the very end. They'll be curious at how quickly you recovered, but you'll be aware of the reality. It wasn't a coincidence. It was timing masquerading as mercy.